Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Brotherly Banter podcast. My name is Sebastian. I'm joined here with Christian, and today we're going to cover a couple topics. We're going to start with first Bed, Bath, and Beyond, and them filing for bankruptcy, and then we're going to talk a little bit about other layoffs that have been happening as far as Disney's concerned and other tech companies. But we can start with Bed, Bath, and Beyond. Chris, if you want to go ahead and take over from here.
Yeah, so it looks like just earlier this year there was talks about there were stores looking like they were starting to close, but I guess now it's official. They had filed for bankruptcy, and basically it looks like they're planning on closing all their stores, so they're liquidating everything they have within the next 2 months. For those of you who may not know, I mean, this is was one of the biggest retail stores for home and decor and home products. So the fact that they're closing is a huge deal because you know lots of people, including myself and my wife, we frequently use the store, and it goes to show that the online competition is really putting hurting on these brick and mortar stores. um they just can't keep up with places like Amazon and some other online retailers. I know Walmart has made a transition into online shopping, which I think has been helping them, but not everyone's been able to keep up, and some people were just too late to the show, and they're starting to feel it, and now another big retailer is closing their doors.
Yeah, it's funny because I used to always get those coupons. I don't know if you ever got. I mean, I'm sure it was sent out to everyone, the
Yeah.
20% off. And then I used to collect them, and I used to go into the store. This is years back, but then as of recently, I would say the last 2 years, I used to get them, just toss them out, and because I would never go there anymore. As me being a single person, I don't really have any motivation to go to those stores. I can just pretty much go on Amazon and order everything that I need there. And I also found those stores to be pretty pricing compared to some of the prices on Amazon. Were you seeing that also?
Yeah, I mean, they are a little more expensive than you can find other places. Those coupons, the 20% off, their coupons. They're probably one of the only places that ever had coupons that never really expired, even though they had an expiration date. You can go in there, a year later and still use those coupons. But it was, they did have some really cool stuff in there. So you're able to kind of like look at things and see things before buying it. Where obviously, if you're buying online, you can't really do that unless you've seen it somewhere else. But we used it a lot, especially for wedding registries. It's a huge place for people that are getting married because they create the registry and everyone shops there. You can shop online, at that time, but going there and being able to pick something up really quick was the benefit of going there. And now, it looks like Amazon just sucked another big company out of the game.
Yeah, and it's funny you say weddings because didn't David Bridal, I think it's called David's Bridal, went out of business or is going also filing for bankruptcy?
I don't know. I mean, I know, like, so if we go back to a couple years ago, remember Toys R Us? I mean, they all went
Babies are
out,
us too, right?
and then Babies R Us went out of business. So like all these big stores that we grew up going to are no longer around. So where eventually I feel like there's not gonna be a lot of retail stores, you know, around in the next 10, 15 years because online shopping is just getting so much more convenient for everybody, especially when everyone has busy lives. Why would anyone want to go fight traffic for, especially here in Orlando, for 2 hours to go pick something up when you don't have to?
Well, I'm going to share an experience that you probably do the same thing, but I order like supplements. And I used to always go to the vitamin shop. It's literally a half a mile away from my house. And I used to always buy my supplements there at the vitamin shop, which has been around for a while. But then, just the fact that I can get it on Amazon Prime and it gets sent to my house, and it's usually a couple of dollars cheaper. It's usually sometimes 10 because the proteins, I don't know if you've noticed this, but the proteins have gone up in the last 2 years as far as the price of the protein. So I just order it. So yesterday I placed an order. Amazon, I would think I ordered it in the morning, and then within 5 hours is on my front door. So I'm not even going to a place that's conveniently located that's less than a half a mile away from my house, uh, where I can just order on Amazon. It gets sent to my house. It's cheaper, it's faster. And this is what's happening to a lot of these different retailers.
Yeah, I mean, same day delivery is amazing. It's not everywhere yet, but it's going to be everywhere pretty soon. Another big retailer that's down here now is Kroger. Do you guys see the trucks down there?
Not too much.
So Kroger is and I think it's a northern supermarket chain. And excuse me, what they did is they basically came down here and started offering delivery services for groceries, and especially like right when COVID was like in that the process. So you order online, and they come with these refrigerated trucks right to your door and deliver your groceries. So now you don't have to you don't have to go to the grocery store if you don't want to. And then they basically have a subscription where you can pay a fee and you get like free same day or next day delivery on your groceries to your door. And it's actually cheaper than going to Publix or ordering online from these other stores
Yeah, I just don't see how these retailers are going to survive. Like, one of them also. What about Macy's? Hasn't Macy's
or Sears.
Well, Sears is pretty much gone down here.
Yeah. I mean, these malls, I can't, I haven't been to a mall in forever. So I don't know what's going on right now, but I know like some of the malls locally, they were shutting stores little by little, and most of them, completely shut down.
Yeah, I remember Sears. They used to have a service department too down here, so you can take your car for service and go shopping while you're in Sears. That closed down. First, the service department went, then the whole Sears went. So there's nothing left down here as far as the one that I go to. So you're going to see a lot more of it. I think this is just the beginning. You're going to see a lot more of these retailers. I mean, you saw what happened with Walmart too, even in, was it Portland? They closed most of their stores, and Chicago also.
Yeah, there's a few places they closed, but I don't think that was due to people not shopping. I think a lot of it had to do with the areas they were in and people
Yeah,
stealing from their stores. So I think Walmart is going to survive. Um, it's just one of those places that people will still go to, and the amount of stuff. I mean, I would think they're still going to have actual stores around, but they've actually they're transitioning into online. They also have a almost like an Amazon Prime deal where you get a subscription and you can get like free delivery.
yeah.
So and like it's pretty quick. So they have a good system going on. It's just really a matter who's going to be able to weather like Walmart and Amazon's takeover.
Yeah, I think I read something that Walmart in Chicago, some of those stores haven't been profitable like in 17 years. So it's like,
Yeah.
damn,
Yeah,
you
and it doesn't
know.
help when in those areas where they're like looting and stealing out of their own stores, and it's a mess, man. I don't understand, but this is it's going to happen. I mean, what company wants to go into a community where they don't respect anything and are stealing and damaging things? So it's just sad to see because there's people that actually need it and they're not going to have
Yeah.
that available.
So let me ask you, like, based on your shopping, do you still do a lot of your shopping in the store or most of it is online?
I would say everything except like groceries. I would say everything except groceries I basically do online for the most part.
Yeah.
Groceries I do about, I would say, 90% in store and then 10% online. But I'm actually looking into transitioning to doing like more online shopping, so that way because I spend way too much time in the grocery store.
Yeah.
And
So yeah,
uh,
go ahead.
no, it's just your time is valuable, especially when you get older. You're when you have a lot of priorities, you can't be spending time driving around all day to go from one store to the other store to the other store because you lose a whole day. And if like when you get like as most adults, people I know, you're going to Publix if you have a family a few times a week because to get fresh produce and stuff. You're not going to buy produce and have it for 2 weeks. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah. So for me personally, I Trader Joe's, Publix, those are my two main places I go for food. And I started going to this local place down the street they just opened, Aldi. I don't know if it's up in Orlando. I think it is, right?
Yeah,
They
yeah,
have
we
it
have
up
we have
there.
we have all these here. Yeah,
Yeah. So they got pretty good stuff in there for reasonable price. So I would say between those three, but everything else, like, I mean, unless I'm gonna go buy some clothing, then maybe I'll go to the mall or something like that. But other than that, I don't really go shop anywhere. Everything's online. If I need to buy something for the house, it's online, and it's usually through Amazon. If I'm being
yeah.
honest, most of it's on Amazon Prime.
Yeah, Amazon. I mean, they have so much stuff in there, and they really push for sellers to give them a better have a better price on the platform because they want more people to shop on there. So if you're a seller, you're gonna have a cheaper price on Amazon because Amazon is basically forcing you to. in order to kind of, get more people to shop on their platform. Like, what's the benefit of using Amazon if you're going to be paying? I mean, some people like it because it's quicker, but like for me, if I'm going to buy something online and let's say it's $20 more expensive on Amazon, and I can go down and spend 10 minutes going on the street to get it, I'd rather go just drive and get it at that point.
Yeah.
But
And what do you think is going to happen with all these layoffs now? Because there's, Disney's also, this is another thing we're going to talk about. Disney's laying a bunch of people off. All these tech companies laying people off. So there's layoffs happening everywhere so far this year, and it's going to be pretty crazy.
yeah, I mean, the layoff situation is, I mean, it's kind of those of us that kind of been paying attention to what's going on. It's obviously it's bound to happen. I think with COVID, when COVID was around, everyone like kind of hired way too many people at that time, and now they're really starting to get lean, and just cutting all the extra people they don't need. And some of it's like I was listening to some other talk show, and it's for the investors too, because if they're able to kind of maintain that same, uh, you know, profit with less people, that means more money in the investors' pockets. So it's a combination of a bunch of things. But I think Disney's about to do their second round of layoffs. I think it starts today, and they're planning on cutting. I think there's 3 rounds total. They're planning on cutting about 7,000 people.
That's what I read. 7,000. I think it's from ESPN department too, right? Is there?
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what departments, but I know like so Disney here in this area is a huge, provides jobs for a lot of people, and so there's a lot of people that are scared of what's going to happen because, the 7,000 people, that's a lot of people in just a short amount of time. Amazon, they cut a ton of people too. Um, I don't know exactly what areas they're
Yeah,
firing.
I don't understand that. Like what's up with Amazon? Because I feel like they need people. They need drivers. They need those people working those fulfillment centers. How are they cutting?
I think I'm not sure. This is, I don't know 100%, but I feel like Amazon, because of they're always looking to new technology to kind of improve their business. And this is a whole different conversation we can get into later on, but
Yeah.
technology is getting so good now. They're cutting jobs left and right. I mean, people are losing jobs. There's a McDonald's that's fully, like there's nobody
You
there.
read my mind. You read my mind.
Is
Like I
that is that in
literally,
Texas? Where's that one
yeah,
at?
I'm not sure where it's at, but I didn't walk into one the other it was like I think it was like a month ago. I was coming back from Orlando. I stopped on the highway, and obviously people were still working there, but there was nobody taking your order.
Yeah.
Everything's on the touchscreen. You just
Yeah.
order your stuff on the touchscreen, you pay right there, and you just wait for your order.
Yeah.
So they already removed the cashiers.
Yeah, most cashiers are already gone, and in those places, but like they're fully like automated. So like I think there's one in Texas, there's one somewhere here in the states that are in the country that you basically there's no one there, and it's maybe there might be someone kind of just checking things, but like there's no employees that are helping you. You drive up, you place your order. There's robots or whatever putting the patties together, and then if you're ordering inside of a kiosk, but there's nobody, there's no interaction with people there. The supermarkets are starting to do that a lot more now. So Publix in some of their stores, they're fully, some of them have like very few cashiers left. And you got to scan your own groceries, which sounds great, but if you got a full 1 or 2 carts of groceries you're trying to buy, I mean, that takes a lot of time because you're not used to scanning and bagging. It just takes a lot of time. So I feel like I don't mind doing that, but if I'm going to be doing that, if I'm doing that work for you, I feel like we should get a discount. Do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like they should give you a discount for having to do all that work yourself.
Yeah, and plus the discount is now inflation. They're actually charging
Yeah.
you more.
Yeah, we're paying more, and now you got to scan and bag your own groceries. I mean, pretty soon you're going to be out there collecting carts and bringing carts back to the store for them too. It's like there's nobody there.
Well, that's Aldi, right? You put your quarter in, and then you
Aldi's
walk
smart. I
around
mean,
this.
that is actually
Yeah,
like that is every time I go there, I'm like, man, this is pretty genius because it's only a quarter, but almost ever you don't ever see a shopping cart left in the parking lot.
yeah.
Everyone's
For
bringing
those of you that don't know about Aldi, basically when you get there, you gotta have a quarter, and you insert the quarter into the carts, the machine, and then it pops the card out, and when you're done shopping, you have to bring back the cart, and then it gives you back the quarter.
Yeah, you lock
If
it
you
back
don't
up.
have a quarter, you basically have a bunch of people walking around the store with boxes, right? Because they don't give you bags either.
Yeah.
You got to bring your own bags.
You got to buy your bags too. If you don't have any bags, you got to buy bags at the register when you're cashing out. So, um, I like Aldi. My only issue with Aldi is that they don't have enough stuff there, so you can't get everything you want there.
Yeah, it's not a once
Compared to
one
like,
stop.
I guess if you Giant Eagles up north or Publix and stuff like that. So, but
But
it's
if you,
it's it's coming. I mean, everything's going to go to.
yeah,
Why not?
yeah. But if you compare prices, I still think like I went there, I think it was yesterday. The prices are still much better than some of these other places, like Publix, for example. I mean, their selection of meats, their produce, very inexpensive compared to Publix.
Yeah, I
But
mean,
not even mention Whole Foods.
it's still cheaper. Basically, if you kind of go back, and I always say it's like, so Walmart used to be, so Walmart used to be one of the cheapest, but like now it's like Publix prices are what Whole Foods prices used to be. Walmart's prices now are what Publix used to be, and they all like leveled up one level. So
Yeah,
it's like it's all more expensive, but they're still in comparison, they're still cheaper than their competitors, but at a higher level. It's just it's going to keep going up over the years.
I feel like supermarkets still have a chance, but these other places, these retail selling like this place that's closing down, Bed Bath and Beyond, those places. I mean, how often do you go to those places? This is like once every couple of months, if that.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
can see it unless you have a lot of money, you want to go and buy a bunch of stuff, but most
yeah.
people don't go there very often.
I have a hard time understanding how these mattress stores stay in business. I mean, you
Oh, don't
literally,
get me started there.
how often do you go to get a mattress? And every time I drive by these mattresses, there's never anybody in there. So how do they stay in operation when the retail spaces is costing thousands of dollars a month, for a lease?
Yeah, that's
Um,
another. You're probably going to see a lot of those places go out of business too,
well,
because you buy a mattress like once every 8 to 10 years.
yeah,
When I bought the last one I bought was Rooms to Go. Is it Rooms to Go? Yeah, it's still around, right?
yeah.
Yeah, that's another one that's been around for years, man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Furniture, I mean, I don't know. Furniture is a different animal. I mean, I would assume because most people want to actually see and test the furniture before they're buying it. I would hate to buy furniture online without even, especially when you spend like,
a mattress.
three
Yeah.
or 4 grand for a mattress or a couch or whatever.
Well,
So
this all these layoffs, what's going to cause is going to obviously people are going to start cutting back. This causes people to go out and spend less money out, whether it's food or entertainment. So it just has a big domino effect on everything.
yeah,
And that's what I think we're going to see this year.
I'm surprised people are still spending a lot of money. You still see people out. All the restaurants are packed. I mean, I went out this weekend and you have to make reservations, so you can't get into anything. And then trying to take the kids to go get like ice cream later on, like Jeremiah's was out the door. I'm like, I'm not stopping here. And then I'm like, let's go to Culver's, see if Culver's has ice cream. Line out the door. I mean, people are still spending money. I'm not sure, there's no way everyone has a ton of money saved up. So people, I think I was trying to look at the stats. I think it was like 40 something percent of people or, working Americans like have less than $1,000 in their savings.
Yeah.
Right now is a time for most people to start saving because if something does happen, you need to have some money on hand.
Yeah.
It's gonna happen. I don't know how I feel the pressure. I'm talking to like lots of people right now. Even like my barber was telling me, I asked him, hey, I always ask him, hey, how's it going? Because I can never get if I go to book a haircut same day, I'll never be able to do it because he's always booked out like a few days in advance.
Yeah.
So I'm like, well, what's going on? He's like, man, it's been slow. I'm like, I thought it was a little weird that I can actually get an appointment today. I go, what's going on? He's like, dude, even his customers coming in, he's like, they're all feeling it. It's like things are slowing down for everybody. Other barbers are saying the same thing. So it's happening. We're not really seeing it like it just yet, like, panic mode, but it's starting to contract. And if you're not, putting money away, you should, because if it does really, take a hit, we're all going to be feeling the pain in a few months.
Oh, it's going to take a hit. Yeah. I experienced the same thing when I went to Miami this weekend. I went to that famous burger place I told you about down in Miami, and it was 11 o'clock at night, and there was pretty much a line out the door, and people were just coming in. But I think people are putting a lot of stuff on credit cards. I think it's dead. I don't really think, I think the credit cards that are reading something has gone up in the last year, crazy amount. So I think people are just putting stuff on credit when they really don't have the money to be going out like that. And like you said, this is the time to have some sort of emergency fund, cut back as much as you can, but you got to have some cash on you and reserves because it's going to get tough the next year or so with all these
Yeah.
layoffs and
I
economy.
ha- I ha- I man, I haven't used a credit card in a long time. It's probably one of the credit cards are the worst thing. I mean, actually, I lie. We use a credit card for almost everything right now, but we pay it off every month. If
Yeah,
you're
so you
not
do it
if you're not
exactly.
disciplined, if you're not disciplined enough to pay off your credit card bills every month, don't even get one because you're just going to be racking up a ton of interest, and it's going to be like this ongoing payment that you're never going to get away from.
Yeah, credit cards are fine if you pay them off at the end of the month. You are going to spend more money all the time on a credit card compared to a debit card. It's just mentally you're just going to be able to you're just going to spend more, I mean, naturally. But if you pay it off at the end of the month at least, that means you're not paying the interest. And I think a lot of people are paying interest. That's the
Yeah,
problem. They're getting that statement. They spent $1,000. They see that minimum payment is like $100 or $50, and they're just paying that, or maybe an extra $100. But then you're paying all that interest on
yeah.
that money you didn't pay off. So
No, the interest will kill you. I mean, unless you have a business or something that you actually get points or cash back with, um, I would say try to stay away from it. But the so I was listening to somebody else, like, if you're really bad with credit cards or really kind of budgeting your money, one of the best things you can do is take out, like, find out your budget, right, and take out cash for that period of time, and just divide your cash up in different envelopes, like food, going out, whatever. So that way you can actually physically, you actually can see, okay, I have this much left to go spend on food or going out and drinking with my friends. Because if you're using a debit card, even though it's still cash, you're just swiping that like it's gonna,
yeah.
never gonna go away.
Well, what about credit cards? Even worse,
Well, that's
because
even
credit
worse.
card,
But I
yeah,
was,
you got like
yeah,
a 5,000.
credit cards are the worst because it's not even your money really. So, but
Yeah.
even debit cards are bad because you're not really looking at that. I mean, at least I don't look at it every second of the day, and you can just go on and spend. Next thing you know, you're already down to like almost nothing.
Yeah, no, it's insane. And the interest that credit card companies charge is out of control.
That's
That's why
criminal.
people never get
It's
ahead.
criminal. I mean, all the taxes that we
Yeah.
already pay, and we got to pay, fees and other credit card transaction fees. Even as if you're a business, you're getting it whenever someone uses a credit card to buy something, you're getting hit because you have to, you're getting charged a fee for processing that transaction. So everyone loses when there's a credit card involved.
Yeah. So the best thing is right now, man, just try to save as much as you can, put some money away, 3 to 6 months of expenses, so that if something does come up, like you get into some financial stress or some emergency where you do have some funds in reserve, or you're not stressing as much compared to someone that doesn't have any money in savings, you're really going to feel it.
Yeah.
You want to talk about this new the thing you mentioned to me about was it Bud Light?
Yeah. So let me pull up my notes here.
Yeah.
So I think by now everyone's heard what happened with Bud Light, and their marketing campaign, which was a total disaster for the most part. Um, for those who maybe were stuck under a rock, they kind of used a transgender person on one of their marketing campaigns and cans. I don't know exactly. I don't really drink that much, and they got a bunch of backlash from most or a huge portion of their consumer base. And just today, I think it was just today or overnight, it looks like the VP of marketing. So her name was Alyssa Hernscheid. She's actually the one that came up with a campaign for this, and her whole point was to try to get more women involved, like, to consume the beer.
Yeah, because women drink Bud Light.
Yeah, but instead of using an actual woman, they used this transgender, what's her name, Dylan Mulvaney, as
Yeah.
their spokesperson. And I mean, not a real good message if you're looking to bring more women into your consumer base.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
and so
especially when you
yeah.
got
So, anyways, real quick. So, both her and her boss both took a leave of absence, which to me tells me there's some going down over there because they're losing a ton of money, and it's probably a nice way of saying that they're going to get rid of them, or they're going to basically pay them to part ways. What a disaster, dude. I mean, listen. You can be whoever you want to be as an adult, but when you don't know your consumer base, especially like Budweiser, it's been around forever, and most of their consumers are probably men and outdoorsmen, just your typical redneck
Yeah.
beer
Yeah. Like
drinker.
the NASCAR drivers and stuff like that, they're
And
the
and
big
you and you
consumers of
think
it.
having a transgender spokesperson on the can is going to help that bring in that small demographic that you're trying to target, that you're completely missed you missed the whole assignment on. I mean,
Yeah.
I everyone knew this was going to happen, that they're going to end up going away, but it's crazy. I don't understand the whole concept there.
Well, that's probably why she's probably gonna get let go. I mean, she's was it executive of marketing? She's
She was a VP of
VP of
marketing
marketing.
for
Yeah.
Budweiser and Bud Light.
Yeah.
Listen,
She,
I was in marketing for most of my early life. I don't understand how this even made it through any approvals. I mean, it's almost like they want her to fail, because anyone with half a brain can be like, this is a horrible thing to do.
well, she did two things right. She got everybody knows who she is now, and everybody was talking about Bud Light. So in that
Yeah.
sense, but it blew up in her face because now everybody boycotted that was drinking Bud
Yeah.
Light is not drinking, so the sales are going to go down.
Yeah.
So
And you see people out there, oh, I can't believe these people are getting so worked up about like a beer. Yes, to some degree, yes, it's stupid that you're gonna go smash beers and do this. Just don't consume the product. But as a company, you're losing all this money because of some stupid decision you guys let slip through the cracks. If you really wanted to target women, have someone was saying, have like someone like Danica Patrick on there, or some woman that's a biological woman that means something to people, not this social media TikTok personality that's a transgender that can't relate to actually an actual woman.
thing is too, man, like you got to know your audience. Like that beer is not typically most women don't drink beer. Like, I mean, there is some that do, but at the end of the day, like they who drinks beer? It's like your man's man. Like I said, NASCAR community, they're
Yeah,
big on beer. Like if they wanted to push more sales, maybe get a NASCAR driver talking about Bud Light, and that's who you're gonna obviously sell to. But who are you gonna sell to? Most people, if they're a woman, they probably already drank beer. If not, you're not gonna push them on it.
yeah,
I don't know. It just doesn't make any
and
sense to me.
women do drink beer,
But
but
nowhere
obviously
compared to the
no,
amount of men.
but men are definitely the bigger consumer of beer. But also, she's like, I think she said in one of her interviews, saying like, they want to get away from that frat boy. Like, dude, your frat boys, your college partiers. I mean, you don't understand how much beer these people consume. I mean, they're buying cases upon cases upon cases and kegs every single day. So why wouldn't you, like, listen? If it was, if you're looking to increase revenue, market to them. I mean, geez, like that's, you already have them.
Yeah.
Why not market to them even more? Because these 21-year-olds in college are the ones buying a lot of this beer. I mean, because listen, as an adult, like, unless you're an alcoholic, I might buy a case. Let's just say I drink regular. I might buy a case at tops in a week, and that's a lot. But when I was in college, we were having parties with like 10, 15, 20 cases each week, multiple times a week sometimes. So like, why would you say, oh no, screw that group? We're gonna go target these women, which are maybe like a 1% of our base, or our consumer base, and let's forget about everybody else. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, you target 1%, you lose the other 50%. That's why it doesn't make any sense to me
Yeah.
because balance of probability. I know you said women like beer, but most women in the U.S. don't drink too much beer. I've never been on a date and there's like a woman's like, "I'll take the beer." Like they usually get the cocktail. You
Yeah.
know?
And besides Bud Light, there's other big companies doing the same thing, making the same mistakes. And I think Nike is one of them. I think Nike recently did it. And like I said, listen, I don't care, but when you're completely out of touch with what's going on with the most of your consumer base, it's going to have a huge effect on you. And, I don't know. I'm interested to see what Bud Light comes out and says about this whole thing, and just to see where everything ends up.
Probably
But
gonna
I
keep it
can't.
quiet.
Yeah, I was gonna go.
Let it ride.
I was gonna go to what do you call it? The store later on, and just kind of see and check out, because you can always see how much beer is and, like, left over. Maybe it's probably, well, after the weekend. So if there's a ton of Bud Light and Budweiser out there, it's because people aren't buying it.
Yeah. Well, I haven't drink, but I used to drink Bud Light when I was like college and stuff. I don't really like Bud Light myself. I like stronger beer. So if I go out and have a beer, it's usually like a Stella, or I even like Corona, or IPAs or something different. I don't want to. I'm not ordering Bud Light
Yeah, I mean,
anyways.
and even with all the, over the last 10 years, with all these craft beer uh, places popping up, beer has changed. I mean, the profile of beer has changed so much. Like, I don't like drinking Bud Light and those regular beers that have
Yeah,
been around for, because they just don't. They taste like shit. They taste like
yeah.
piss. So like, you're already uh, you're already playing with all these competitors that are in the space that have better tasting beers, and now you're making yourself even more less desirable because of what your beliefs or whatever are. So I
It's
don't know.
just
Yeah,
they're trying to push different narratives and try to. It's gonna blow up in their face,
yeah,
because you got to see where the sales come from. The sales are coming from the man drinking beer
yeah.
at the end of the day.
They're trying to be politically correct. And listen, I don't know how this girl, what old this girl was, the VP, but it really shocks me that someone like that made it as a VP in marketing for a company that big. Like, if this is your thought process, how the hell did you get that far? Unless it was you were like, this is a 50-50 chance it's going to either work or it's going to blow up, and I'm ready to go down with the ship. I don't know. Or, who knows?
Curious to know if she actually ran it by someone. got some,
I
got a
mean,
second opinion there.
well, I mean, her boss, or whoever she was working under, is out
Put
too.
her on leave.
So maybe they were on the same. They just talked to each other and nobody else, because it's someone should have flagged that.
Didn't something like this happen very similar to like Gillette a couple years ago?
Yeah, I think someone was talking about that.
Yeah, something like they pushed it on, and guys just stopped buying Gillette for a while. So you would think they would have learned from that. Obviously, they didn't.
No,
So interesting to see what's going to happen there. But I don't like Bud Light anyways. I wasn't gonna plan on boycotting them because I don't drink it anyway. So for me, they can go out of business.
yeah, I mean, they got. I used to like Bud Light Lime.
Yeah, Bud Light line.
That's not much of a man's drink, anyways. But
Well, the company's not Bud Light, right? It's what is
it's
it?
Anheuser Busch
American.
is,
Yeah,
and they used to be here, and I think they used to be in SeaWorld. Like, did they own SeaWorld, or they were SeaWorld's owned by Anheuser Busch? But that's
I
when I
believe
was
so.
younger. I used to work at
Yeah.
SeaWorld, so like they supplied us with, like, Anheuser Busch products, and then the horses would come and do a parade. But so they've been around for a while. I'm just really surprised they let something like this happen. I don't understand.
Well, we'll see what happens with that.
Yeah, if you guys let us know in the comments, what do you guys, how you feel about this whole situation, and what do you think about, not only the beer and Bud Light, but with the retailers and the layoffs going on, is it affecting you? What are your thoughts? And if you can, like and subscribe to the channel. Sebastian, anything else? Oh, did guys, we haven't decided yet, but like in one of the next episodes, we're going to be doing a giveaway. So, but you have to be subscribed to the channel in order to qualify. But we'll come up with an idea, and kind of present it next. I think the next podcast, right?
Yeah, I think we're gonna be handing out Bud Light.
The winner
So
gets a free year supply
yeah,
of Bud Light. Yeah.
there you go, Bud Light for the winner.
No, but we'll figure it out, and we'll announce it, I think, on the next episode. So just stay tuned. Make sure to subscribe, so you can be participating in it.
That's it. Well, see you guys next time.
All right, guys. Later.
Later.